Okay, we've got the drawings printed off now. As you can see, this is the carriage bogie here, and the other detail drawings for the individual parts. What I will do first, I'm probably going to make these U sections for the trailing arm, and these are out of, as I mentioned before, these are out of some aluminium U channel, which is this here that I'm going to be using. This is the aluminium U channel here. It's going to be very nice, and we just slice off the pieces and then get them to the right dimensions. Needs to be about 320. So to start the machine, stand back and slice off. Just measure that. And that's just come out slightly over, so that's fine. What I will do, I will just give these all a quick trim in the milling machine. We can give them a skim down to size, but the main thing is just to get the slices off. Okay, this is the last one of the smaller trailing arms, the 1/4 inch ones. Just going to finish cutting the last one here. Put a little bit of lubrication on. And that completes the 12 of these smaller trailing arms. Pretty much all now machined, and just lay them out there so you can see what we've got. Basically they go as pairs as we've shown on the drawing there. These two will fit together like so, like this, and the others will be like that. So when they sit on the chassis, that's how they'll look. Alright, we're going to mark out the positions for the holes on the trailing arm, which is going to be fitted together like that. So what I'm going to do is just mark out one and hopefully use that as a setting point or as a template to set the others. So we need to set our height gauge to half the height, which was 1/8 of an inch, so that's 125. We need to make that 125. So we've got our height gauge set, and what we do now is we can just score a line along the center. So this is one point for marking the center, and we can also score the height. The two crosshairs are marked on that piece here. I'm just going to make some spot holes, just some punch marks just for the drill to pick up. So case of just marking these off, just entering a point there. Okay, I've got the drill machine set up now. It's all locked into position, all lined up. So all I have to do now is, once I've drilled each hole, is just drop the next one in and just line this up with my little flat edge there, and each hole should be in the correct position. So let's drill some holes. Drill off, just drilling one side at a time. Turn it round, slot it back in again, line it up just with here, sits on there, tighten up, and off we go do the next one. That's one done. Let's drop the next one in. This is the good test now, because we've not got any drill spot marks to drill from, so the drill should just pick up straight into where we're going. Aluminium is very soft, so there shouldn't be any issues drilling these other holes now. shall carry on and do the other side. Okay, moving on. After drilling these holes for the tapping size, you see now I'm in the process of tapping these. I've just got to work through. I'm tapping these 8BA, which is a typical engineering size thread for this sort of scale. A little bit more cutting fluid on. Again, I'm using, say, aluminium is a very soft material, almost a bit sticky really as you cut it. So I'm using again white spirit just to help the tapping process to tap through on these threads. And I'll be working through the 12 trailing arms, working through those. Now that's one done. What I've also done is drilled the holes for here, and we've countersunk them as well. These are clearance holes that the smaller arm, as we've mentioned before, is going to screw onto, and I'm in the process now of drilling and tapping these ready to be screwed on. Here's some already done, already screwed together. We've got our trailing arms drilled and tapped and all screwed together, and just ready now for the next stage, which will be drilling the holes for the bushes and for the axles. Describing the position where we're going to drill. This is where the main axle bearing will fit in. I'm going to enlarge them a little bit with a centre drill, or a slocum drill, as I say, with what some people call them. We call them centre drills, other people call them slocum drills. But it's basically just to get that hole spot on and get it started a little bit more, because it's quite a big. It's going to be quite a big drill hole going through there, so I need to make sure we've got a decent starting point for the bigger drill to bite on. Ready to drill the first. Start the first pilot, and this is the centre drill I mentioned. Very gently start off the hole. I'm not going to drill any deeper than that, it's just a starting point for the hole to be drilled. Now this is, as I say, we've got to work through these now and just drill a starting hole for the main drill to grip on. This is going to be quite a tricky one to drill this. Basically you've got to be very careful drilling this, because as we're drilling we don't want to squash or pinch these two arms together, and we've got to drill it slowly. It's got to be drilled slowly. So I've using my big machine vise for this, and the idea is I will drill this one through here. It's supported on this parallel. Once we've drilled through and got the drill to catch on here and get the hole established, I will take this out and then drill the final stages. I'm very aware, as we don't want this to drop down or move. It's held quite tight at the moment. But we've got to drill this very carefully. Let's start. Very slowly. Pick up the centre. Gently get this to bite. Start there. Okay, we're through the first hole. Now basically all I'm going to do now is go through and spot the bottom hole and then remove that parallel. So the drill has started. Now the drill's started on the bottom, and I'm going to remove this parallel and just gently break through to the rest. Gently breaking through. Easy. Okay, we're through. Let's take that off and have a look. That's been drilled through now, and that doesn't look too bad. What I was hopefully what I was looking for, and what I'll ultimately do then is ream it out with the reamer to give the hole a definite size and finish, ready for the bushes that's going to go in here to hold the axle. But if you can do all the others like that, that should be okay.